Alright everybody, it's your pal Revolver84 here, and today I just thought I'd share with you my PvP build, specifically for running in the Imperial City. And the reason it's specifically for the Imperial City is because unlike Cyrodil, where you can avoid PvE enemies, PvP and PvE enemies are really close together in the Imperial City, both in the sewers and up on the top in the city itself. So you've got to sort of be prepared for both enemies really, which means your build's got to be a little bit different compared to what it would be if it was purely PvP. So before I go into the details of what I'm running, I just wanted to show you some interesting things that you need to consider as part of PvP, specifically Battle Spirit. So your health is increased by 5,000, that's champion. Range increased by 8 meters for abilities with a 28 meter range or greater, so that's not particularly bothering me because I'm not an archer, I'm a DK tank. But this last one really does bother me. Damage taken, healing received, and damage shield strength decreased by 50%. Now my entire build up until this point has been based around shields. I've always had umpteen shields up at a time to be able to perform my tanking responsibilities, especially in PvE questing. So I've really had to go back to basics. I've had to understand that I can't have all my shields up and I've basically got to cause more damage. It's as simple as that. No longer can I rely on my shields to be able to withstand damage. Not only that as well, but there's some absolutely phenomenal PvP players out there who can just go through you like a knife through butter, even without that 50% decrease in your shield. So the only way to combat that is to cause damage myself. So with that in mind, I have selected these skills, and I'd like you to take note of the how much magicka costs are applied for each skill. So first of all, I've got hardened armor. It's a no-brainer for myself really. I'll always have hardened armor on no matter what build I run, but that's a magicka costing one. Conjurating blood, again it's a magicka one, grants major fortitude and minor vitality, increasing your health recovery by 20%. Now that's really important because there will be time when your resource management's not very good and I've used my potion and I'm running low, and that's when I bash that. Also as well, if I find that my health starting to go down but I do have my potion, I'll sometimes hit that anyway in the knowledge that if it does come down to an emergency, I can still have that potion there ready to be used. Next one's Molten Whip. Now Molten Whip is predominantly for the PvP element of it, in terms of attacking other enemies and causing damage. But the Molten Whip one I've selected specifically because it increases weapon and spell damage by 70 for ardent flame abilities, which is useful for my R1, which is for Venomous Claw. That's a ardent flame ability. I'm pretty sure is Burning Talons one? No, I didn't think Burning Talons was. But Venomous Claw is raking enemy with your claw, deal 1,483 poison damage and an additional 4,030 poison damage over 8.5 seconds, with damage increasing by 12% every 2 seconds. So with Molten Whip, that should increase that damage there. And then Burning Talons. Now whenever I do PvP, I always run Burning Talons because there's always Nightblades out there who will just hit you and disappear, and hit you and disappear, and they're so lightning fast and they disappear off into nothing. The only way to tie them down is Burning Talons for me, so I've always got Burning Talons run. And then the last one's Ferocious Leap. It's me distance closer, and also it provides a 55% absorption of your max health damage for 6 seconds, and it also increases physical damage on all enemies by 5,512. So it's a pretty good ultimate really. So what I'd like to look at now is my back bar. So I'll go at the start. So again, I do have a shield, but that's only because if I go back to my front bar, I don't really have any shields now. I used to run, is it Unstoppable? Get me. Unstoppable. 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 Unstoppable, yeah, Unstoppable, that's the one. I would have normally have ran Unstoppable on my front bar, but because of the Battle Spirit issue, the only shield I've got is the Obsidian Shield 4, and that's a Magicka costing one. Call the Earth to your defense, granting a damage shield for you and nearby allies that absorbs 2,537 damage. Your own damage shield absorbs 100% additional damage. So really, it doesn't actually absorb a lot of damage, but it is something. And the reason I've still got a shield there is because my back bar ones don't have as much physical resistance as my front bar when it comes to the gear sets that I've got set up. Next one's Flame of Oblivion. Activate an aura of flames which launches a fireball at nearest enemy every 5 seconds, dealing 2,149 damage. While started, you gain Major Prophecy and Major Savagery, increasing your spell and weapon critical ratings by 2,191. Now this is pretty damn good really for PvP, because one, you can use it, and then you're going to be doing damage every 5 seconds when the fireballs hit your enemy. It also increases, most importantly, my crit rating. With me being a tank, my crit rating traditionally is never that high, so that's something that I really benefit from, and I'll pop that pretty much every single time I'll go into combat. Next one's Rapid Maneuver. Now it is quite costly, 7,487, but really what I should be doing is I'd be buffing that before I even joined into combat with anyone. It really is just to get my guy moving faster and move from place to place to place to engage in combat, rather than have a definitive action once I'm in combat, because my build's not designed to run around really fast and such like. It's not a Nightblade. My build's basically designed to stand there and hack it out with someone, so that's basically to get me from A to B. My next one is Storm Pulse. Now this is what I was talking about when I was saying that this is specifically for Imperial City DLC. Storm Pulsar is absolutely brilliant because it reduces the maximum health of your enemy. Release a surge of storm energy to deal 1,697 shock damage to nearby enemies and afflict them with minor mangle, which reduces their max health by 10% for 33 seconds. Now it says 10% on there, but every single time I've popped it, it's more like 50%. I am not kidding, it's probably more like 50%. The only downside is that Pulsar does not work against other players. It doesn't work PvP. It causes damage, but for 1,696 shock damage, it's not really worth even attempting to pop that if you're fighting against another player. But literally every single enemy I've run that's PvE, that's the first thing I'll pull. Reduces them by, like, say, 50%. I don't know where that 10% comes from. It is like 50%. Pop that and it makes the battle a hell of a lot easier. Force Pulsar forces all the element changes with your staff and blasts an enemy for 842 flame damage, 842 cold, and 842 shock damage. Up to 2 nearby enemies will take 1,019 magic damage if they were already afflicted with burning, chilled, or concussed status effects. Now, if you have the right staff, usually Inferno, it knocks them back, staggers them. If you have an ice staff, it freezes them, so it gives you that moment's pause. It's your CC basically. The only downside for me on this build is that actually my staff is a lightning staff, so it doesn't benefit from that, unfortunately. But again, that's more sort of for my PvE rather than PvP, because it doesn't do a lot of damage there. Your final ultimate is the Shatter Soul, and that is to give me a bit of distance and still be able to cause damage, really. Burn an enemy from inside with Soul Fire, dealing 14,634 magic damage for over 2.9 seconds and reducing movement speed by 70%. So really, again, for this one, this is all about tying down my enemy in PvP, hitting them with that, slow them down, get me burning talons on them so I can actually cause some damage. So before I go on to my gear sets, I'd just like to show you my character figures. So keeping in mind, like I said before, what my skills are. Most of my skills are Magicka-based skills, so I've had to try and complement that with my scores. So I've got 13,580 maximum Magicka score with a Magicka recovery of 964. But keeping in mind, I'm a high elf as well, so I do benefit from that as well in terms of Magicka. Again, being a tank, my maximum health is usually quite high, 71,164. I know a lot of people will be over the moon with that. Health recovery and stamina recovery are to do with me build, which you'll see later on when it comes to me gear sets. Similarly, me crit levels for both weapons comes from the gear set as well. And what you've all been waiting for, what I'm running, right? So let's go to me gear. So, as everyone knows who's watched any of my videos, I prefer me one-handed. So we'll go to my front bar first of all. Front bar. So I'm running Great Sword Vampire Kiss. Now, it is by far one of my lower weapons, don't get us wrong. It's only 140 CP, and there are other individually strong weapons out there. For example, that one, you know, that could cause a lot more physical damage, but I'm running this purely for the additional maximum health that it brings when it's paired up with the other gear sets I have. Head, I'm running Helm of Black Rose. So with it being PvP, I've got to increase my critical resistance, but at the same time have a good amount of health. So Black Rose provides that really for a 2-set gear. It's pretty good really, because you will have a lot of DPSs out there whose crit ratings will be absolutely through the roof. So that's why I'm running that there for. My chest is a gold Carissa of the Pariah, with 954 maximum health, and with the 3 items unlocked there, gives us a good health benefit and physical resistance. Again, this is to combat the physical damage caused by DPSs. Shoulder, that's my other Black Rose piece. Pop down right there. 357 maximum health. Me waist, and this is back to me Vampire Kiss. Again, my CP is only 140, and really, in reality, I should probably go back and craft a new one of them, to be fair. Like, with Divines though, I absolutely love me Divines, like on me Vampire Kiss. Increases Mundus Stone effects by 5.5%. So this one, like I say, I wanted to complement it as much as possible with all the gear source, because the skills that you get from it's really good. So for example, two items there is 118 health recovery, and that's really important in PvP, like really important. The ability to keep your health up and get your health back as fast as possible when that all hell's getting dropped on your head from really strong DPSs. It's really important to get your health back really fast. Similarly, next one, 3 items is my maximum health, so that's really important. Hands is my other Vampire Kiss. It's a purple piece, another 140. Mundus Stone effects 6.5% this time. Legs. Now, I am currently running Rubinite Greaves of Health, because, well, for one, me Vampire Kiss one isn't strong enough. In fact, as you can see there, it drops me figures. What I'd really like is I'd like some more Telvar Stones to get either a Black Rose to increase my stamina, or to get a 160 Vampire Kiss one, or get the Pariah one. So that one there is predominantly just because it's my highest legs. It's a purple, and I'm not going to lie, that reinforced, that's an awful sort of trait really for what I'm talking about. It doesn't need to be reinforced, it really needs to be something else. I really should be getting like a god roll or something, you know. That's not the most appropriate one. I will hold my hands up and see that. Feet, Sabbatons of the Pariah again, it's a purple, 160. Reduces the cost of sprinting, roll dodging by 4%. So well fitted again's not great, and I would like something like more like impenetrable or something, or sturdy, if I'm honest. Divines again, I'd like Divines. So don't get us wrong. I mean, it's not the best. It's not the best one in terms of abilities, but it gets me my 3-piece, which is really important, my physical resistance. accessories. So I've got diamond necklace of reduced feature costs, so it reduces my stamina cost of abilities, increasing my maximum health. So the stamina cost, it's alright, but it's mainly for the maximum health. Now I do have other options for maximum health, you know, like I've got other things in here and such like, but I'm running that one. And then the Signet of the Pariah is to get me 3-piece up. And my final one's Ring of Agility. Now, as you can see there, it's only it doesn't create any gear set items. It's only one item. Adds 157 stam recovery, increases maximum magic by 840. But the 2-piece adds 1,400 maximum stamina. So when I flip to my second bar, I get it, and the reason I get it is because what I'm running on my second bar is Lightning Staff, like I said earlier, Lightning Staff of Agility. Deals 1,815 magic damage and restores 327 stam. Decisive, when you gain ultimate, you have a 30% chance to gain one additional ultimate. So the reason for that is predominantly when I stand off from people with me lightning staff, it means that my DPS is low, probably because I've run out of stamina to be able to do heavy attacks. And my magic, I might need a little bit of a rest as well. So when I'm standing off, it gives us a chance to bring my stamina back. And as my stamina's coming back, once it's back, I can get back in close, and hopefully by then the magic is back up, so I can start doing my buffs, like my Conjurating Blood and such like, and my Dark Talons and my Hardened Armour. So that's the build I'm running. Like I say, it's predominantly for PvP in the Imperial City. If I was to do PvP in Cyrodil, it would look a little bit different. I'm sure you can imagine. And it's not, like I say, it's not finished. Some of the abilities aren't really appropriate. I am working on it. But that's where I start at the minute. I did want to get this out as soon as possible because Lex610 did ask for a build request on my channel the other day, and I was conscious that I really wanted to get one out soon to him because I didn't want to hang fire. So this is what I've come to when I've been doing PvP in Imperial City, but like I say, it will be a little bit different in Cyrodil. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. All the best. Take care.